Hello there guys, and welcome to our second tutorial in the C programming tutorial series. In this tutorial we're going to go ahead and talk about variables. We're going to declare variables and we're going to head and initialize them. So we're going to talk about that. But first of all, go ahead and create a new project if you haven't done so and add a new source file. I called mine variables.c. I used the previous project title, but I added a new source file, a blank empty source file. If you do not know how to create a project in Visual Studio, or then go ahead and refer to tutorial 1. That should be very helpful. Is the Hello World tutorial. So go ahead and do that, pause the video and do that if you haven't done so. And to waste no time, let's go ahead and get started with this tutorial. So in this tutorial we'll be talking about variables, as I mentioned. So to begin, we're going to go ahead and include, like we do always, we're going to include the standard IO, the standard input and output library, so we can use these functions. Then let's go inside our main function. Remember, we need a main in order to execute anything. So next, what we want to do here is we're going to talk about two types. We're going to talk about an integer type, and I'm going to call this one num for number, and we're also going to talk about a double. Let's call this num2, number 2. Okay, so we declare an integer variable. An integer is it's basically it's a variable type, and it's not as precise as double. Double is a lot more precise. So we use integers for basically if we do not need whole numbers. If we do need whole numbers, we don't need whole numbers, and for fractions and anything else we use doubles. So simply what we did here is basically we declare two variables. So this is how we declare variables in C. Now we're going to go ahead and initialize this, and we're going to set this one to equal 5, and I'm going to set my double to equal to 6.75. This number do not matter, you can initialize them to anything you wish. What we're going to go ahead and do next, I'm going to type printf. We're going to go ahead and print out the results. So I'm going to type here the integer type equals, and then I'm going to put here d, and I will explain in a minute what that means. Then I'm going to put /n, and if you remember /n, that basically it's it means it's a return character, so it will basically go to a new line. And what I want to type here is num, and I will do the same thing again. So I will type printf. Now let's type the double type equals, and we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing, but instead of d here we're going to put .f, and then do the same thing and put a /n, and we're going to do here num2, and let's go do a return 0 to make sure that our function does execute properly. So we're going to go ahead and build this and run it, and then we're going to go over the code in more detail. So it was built successfully. Let's go to debug and start with our debugging. So we see here this should not be 7, it rounded out because we put here .2, and I will explain in a minute what that means. So let's go ahead and rebuild solution and start it. So we see here num. So we see here that num was equal to 5 and num2 was equal to 6.75, and we see here we're printing out the integer type, which was the first one, is equal to num, so we're printing out 5. And what this %d here means, this is just a placeholder for an integer type variable, and when we put comma here and then we put the variable, so basically we put the variable we're using here, and then this is a placeholder. So what this will do is print out the integer type, and then once it sees the % and %d, then this means that go ahead and take what's after the comma and place it in here into D. So this is an integer type, and we have an integer type here, num, which is 5, which is why we get here 5. Same thing applies for this. F means float, which is a double type, which is also same thing as double. It's only a little bit less accurate than double, but it's pretty much same. And we have here it does the same thing. Looks at the percent sign. The dot 2 here means go two spots after the dot. So we see 6 dot and then we go 7 5. So this is basically, so if you're basically doing calculations with money, then you only need two places after the dot basically. So we print out, so it does the same thing. As soon as it sees the percent sign, then it sees that leave 2 spaces after the dot, look for a float value or a double value, the double value here in our case, and goes after the comma, sees a double value here, puts it in there. If it doesn't see anything here, it will put 0 in there, or it will give you a null, which means nothing, but we will talk about that later. And then after we print those things out, or after we print this 2 out, what happens, it will go ahead and return, say everything was executed successfully, and program will terminate. So this was a quick tutorial. Well, not so quick, but it was quick enough. Basically talking about how to initialize integer types and double types declare and initialize in C programming. So if you guys have any questions, please leave comments as much as possible if you wish, and please leave comments with any ideas or any tutorials you'd like me to make in particular. And if you need any help or have any tutorial ideas, you could send me a message and I'll try my best to make that happen. And if you haven't checked out, I also have a C++ series of tutorials, and I will be updating those as well, and also the Java tutorials, I will be updating those as well, and the Visual Basic as well. So if you haven't checked those out, please go ahead and check and do so. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That means a lot, guys, if you do that. And also don't forget to watch the tutorial 1 of this series, which was the Hello World, the very famous Hello World tutorial. So there will be another tutorial after this coming up very soon. So thank you for watching this one, guys, and please subscribe and check out all my other videos. Thank you very much.